As we look forward to this next chapter for Loveland Classical Schools and our continued growth, we are grounded in our mission to inform this outlook in our future goals and objectives. And Loveland Classical Schools' mission is to partner with parents in developing young minds with virtuous character, critical thinking skills, and a passion for learning to become exceptional community stewards. And we achieve this mission through our classical education model. So as a brief introduction into how we define classical education here at Loveland Classical Schools, we do it through our 3 pillars: great works, great teaching, and great character. Sir Isaac Newton said, "If I have been able to see further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." And this quote relays his realization that to be able to see further, to innovate, to create, to be of use to society, we must be grounded in the thoughts and the works and the considerations of the greatest thinkers that have come before us. And this, in essence, is what we mean by great works. Think about your own experience with your own children. You will provide them readings and material, movies, whatever, that you find worthwhile. And so this has happened over the last 2,500 years in the Western tradition. There's already this natural vetting process wherein only the greatest texts have been able to come down to us that speak to what does it mean to live a meaningful and happy life? What is the good life? What is the meaning of life? And this is the substance of our curriculum, of what we teach. We know that we're discussing those greatest texts that have withstood the test of time. And this begins in our elementary. Between grades K all the way through 8, we implement the core knowledge sequence, which explicitly provides a strong foundation of content knowledge for our students to memorize and to really make their own in that grammar stage, from which then in later grades our students can build upon and draw their own unique connections. As some other examples, we have an emphasis on using primary source documents. A great example is our 11th grade government class is of a government textbook, which is a secondhand account of someone already interpreting. Our students go through the Phalaris papers together through Socratic seminar. And in doing so, our students learn how to read rich material in the original documents in and of themselves and learn how to interpret and think through these, being able to come to their own conclusions themselves rather than whatever the curriculum that is adopted is telling them to think. And this idea of the importance of strong content, you see this all the way down into our elementary school as well. We departmentalize in our elementary school, being content expert teachers coming in to our students' classes in science and math and English and literature and history, in addition to the arts. And this way, instead of having just one teacher teach all the subjects, we have teachers in the elementary coming in, just as in the middle high school, who are experts in their fields and who are passionate about it and instill that passion and expertise to our students. The second pillar is great teaching, regarding to how we teach. It was John Locke who said, "Reading only furnishes the mind with the materials of knowledge. It is thinking that makes what we read truly ours." And this speaks to the importance of our instructional model that provides our students the opportunity to think through what they're learning. Instead of just being told what to think, our students are truly and intentionally going through processes to learn how to think. As a quick summary, Loveland Classical Schools uses the classical trivium, the form of education that has come down to us for over 2 millennia. And it's based on the grammar, logic, and rhetoric stages. Grammar is the content, the facts of our subjects. We would argue that most schools stop there, right? You teach stuff out of a book, test the students, and move on. But we all know that our students don't truly embody that knowledge if all they're doing is memorizing for a test and moving on. In contrast, a classical education builds upon that strength and depth of the content knowledge, as we spoke about in the great works, and engages in the logic phase of drawing connections, of finding applications with the content directly themselves. And so therein, our students, by going through the logic phase, learn to think for themselves, but also the content knowledge in of itself becomes fully embedded. And finally, the rhetoric stage, wherein our students are able to take that learning and that knowledge to then express it eloquently, whether it be via writing or via public speaking or artistic performance. It is this process of the classical trivium that prepares our students for any field of life. Of course, our students are college and career ready. And at Loveland Classical Schools, that's the starting point. Our goal is to prepare our students for life. Our focus, via our mission, is that our students learn to live meaningful lives as productive members of society, as our mission states, as exceptional community stewards. To help with that process and inform that is our third pillar of great character. Plato said, knowledge becomes evil if the aim is not virtuous. So we know of a lot of examples throughout history of very smart people who are nefarious. And it is very important for us at Loveland Classical Schools that our students pair the knowledge of the strong and great education that we provide through the whole K-12 sequence, and pair that with character, with explicit character instruction. And so the pairing of knowledge and virtue, that is wisdom. And so when asked, what is the purpose of Loveland Classical School, that is it in a nutshell. To provide our students with depth of content, the ability to think independently, and to act in accordance with virtue, as we said earlier, to become virtuous and productive members of society as exceptional community stewards. And so how do we do this? In the elementary school, it begins there. Our classroom coordinators in the elementary school have explicit core virtues lessons where our students are actually going through lessons that define the different virtues. We have 12 core virtues at Loveland Classical Schools, and in addition, other character traits. And by defining them and using language, then we can apply them to the situations throughout our day. So if there's a disagreement on the playground, for example, our classroom coordinators say, well, was that displaying honesty? Was that displaying patience? And going through the different character traits or core virtues that we instill here in a real basis. And there's a lot of overlap between our three pillars. In the upper grades, with rich curriculum, these great works that have withstood the test of time, analyzing moral dilemmas and different psychological traits, the conversations via Socratic seminar, where the teachers lead our students through conversation, purposefully lend itself towards these conversations. What's the virtuous act? Is that the right choice and why? So our whole curriculum from grades K to 12 is steeped in educating ourselves and our students as a community of what is virtuous character in a very applied sense to fulfill our mission that our students move forward in life as exceptional community stewards. Thank you, Loveland Classical Schools. We're really excited to continue with our forward momentum together. Our mission is founded in the partnership between our parents and families and our school. And so your involvement, your input is crucial. So please reach out at any time if you have any questions, if you would like to discuss our school or our classical education model further, or if we can be of assistance. We look forward to seeing you in our school buildings, and know that this is going to be an amazing school year, and we look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you.